Hello and welcome to the next episode of The Conscious Collective. And this week, Emily and myself are going to be having a little chat about connecting with your guides.
Yes.
Yay, we love connecting with our guides, don't we? And I know all of you do too. I speak to so many of you about it in our sessions and in our groups. So this has actually come channeled from my guides and Emily's, that this is the subject that is going to be of most interest to you. So hopefully that resonates and you're sitting there going, yes, they're talking about this. I wanted to talk about this. We're going to just be giving a few little hints and tips, because that's what we've been guided to do by our guides, on helping and supporting everybody in doing what we're doing. Because we just want everybody to know that everybody has spirit guides. Yeah. Everybody has the ability to connect with their spirit guides. So it's kind of everybody's that close. It's kind of what my guides are saying. They're like, everybody's so close. And it's super easier to connect with your spirit guides now that the frequencies on the earth are raised so much. Now is the time that it really, you're just a hop, skip and a jump away from it.
We're so close. Yeah. We're so close. I mean, everyone I'm doing treatments for, their guides are coming in saying, please connect me, please connect me. And please comment below. Are your guides, are you connected with your guides? Are you wanting to? Do you think you are? Are you not too sure? Like, we'd love your feedback. So do interact with us and comment below.
Yeah. We're a collective and we're all going through this experience at the same time.
Should we make that a bit stronger? That like, we really are here for you. Like, we love all this and we love talking, but we're doing this for everyone else because this is the way forward. We know this is why we came to this planet, to help people in their ascension journey and to feel this love frequency and to feel harmonious with everything going around. And so many people aren't. And
there's just
that's
so much
why
to share.
Let's bring in our guides. Yeah. Let's teach you how to do that if you don't know, because it's a game changer and it makes life so much easier and so much more enjoyable. So we can go and have fun and do nice things. And, we want that for you.
We do want that for you. And that we just are recognizing how helpful it is in our lives on a day-to-day basis to have this constant, guidance, people, beings, whatever, spirit family holding our hands and teaching us new ways. And there's so much more we can bring through on that, which we will do, about the new ways of doing things. But today we want to talk about connecting with your guides. So again, we always like to share our stories. We hope that's helpful for you. It's not coming from a place of ego. It's coming from a place of love and wanting to share our experiences with you.
And hoping it helps, because some of these things aren't
help to hear other people's stories.
You've got to be a bit brave. Yeah. I mean, some of these things, thank goodness we're born now and we can share these things now, because I'm sure I would have been taken away to an asylum otherwise.
Totally.
It's just
sad, isn't it, to think of that? But anyway, yes. So let's talk about how, or really the journey that you've gone on with your guides, because it has developed so lovely, so beautifully. And maybe can you also speak to your gifts, Emily, and how you communicate. I feel like that's important, because we're quite different in that way. And I think it's important to maybe cover the two different ways, because it's everybody's so different in the way that you connect with your spirit guides. So let's hear about you and how you do.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it was from you. You said I think we must have been talking about it. And I kind of said, well, I want to be connected with my guides. And you said, well, if you get attuned to Reiki, it will happen. And I was like, really?
Yeah. But that was guided. Yeah. That wasn't Lucy. That was my guides. We were sitting, I remember, at Virginia Water,
weren't we, in the cafe?
And you were kind of like, really? What's that got to do with anything, kind of thing? Because Emily was very much like, I want to speak light language. But you were like, where you were at, you were straight away, you knew where you wanted, you had a trajectory and you knew exactly where you wanted to get to, at least there and beyond, obviously. And it was bizarre, because your guides or mine, whoever was coming through me, was just tell her she needs to do Reiki. And it's amazing how that worked.
Oh, it worked. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mentioned previously little bits of light language were coming through when I connected with megaliths and Avery.
Can we hear that light language, please? Can you share
that one?
Can you even?
Oh, gosh.
Can you? That's it.
but I'm not quite in the mode.
No, sorry, but I just think it's really important. So cute.
So it was kind of like that. I can post,
that.
I can post the video.
Because people need to hear the different types.
And that was, so it wasn't this beautiful, sultry kind of Pleiadian sounds or dragon sounds that you hear sometimes. It was this kind of bit robotic, bit weird, bit birdy. But people were saying, they're like, I love it. Just please keep doing it during Reiki when I was brave enough to share it. So that's when it got me thinking about the frequency of it all. And then it was when I was just hanging out with a megalith, as you do, in Malta. And I found this beautiful one in a field, which I really hope always stays in a field and kind of just gets kind of forgotten about because it was so special. It was like a throne. And it was the second time going there, which I just knew I could go on my own and not have anyone else around. And I'd done some kind of dancing around it and kind of built some put stones on top of stones and made a little altar. And then all of a sudden, I was just seeing these tiny little flowers and placing them on top. And it was just so beautiful. And it was kind of like this message of, it's time now. It's time. And I'm like, oh, okay, time for what? And I'd been getting into QHHT, doing my training, holding client sessions. And I was just called to lie on this megalith, which was so warm from the sun. And it was like a huge throne that, bigger than this space that you could just lie on, put my phone on record. And I just thought, well, I'm going to ask myself some questions. And I thought I was just giving myself good advice and that it was everything I'd ever learned was coming through in a very concise, clear, calm way. And, I was even asking not embarrassing questions, but maybe something that I wouldn't necessarily share, which I will anyway, because here we are, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like about caffeine or about my diet, about sugar and different things. And they were just giving me really interesting feedback on that, which wasn't judgmental, which was kind of a clue because it wasn't me.
So 2 different things, yeah. Subjects that you wouldn't want to sit and discuss. So there's a sign. If it's ever on a subject that you just feel a bit like, I don't really want to face that or talk about it, that's a sure sign that you're channeling, right? And connecting with your guides because they're gently trying to guide you to do something or be aware of something that you need to be aware of that you are suppressing somewhere. So it could be your higher self that you were channeling at that point. Don't forget that there's higher self, there's guides, there's all kinds of wonderful support that comes through. So that was, I think, initially, I'm just getting that feeling that it was your higher self saying, come on now, because you said it was stuff that you already knew.
Absolutely.
So it's still within you.
Absolutely.
And you said it felt like you were talking to yourself, but there was it was a higher level of you, a higher version of you.
It was.
A more wise version.
And that was probably the intention as well, to connect with my higher self. I was like, well, let's just, hit record, ask these questions, connect with myself and just see what happens. And it was, this is for no one. This is completely private. This is never going to be shared. So if I was to make a mistake, which there are no mistakes, it just didn't matter. And I was brave enough to share it with someone. And he said, you channeled, like that was channeling. I was like, oh, okay. And then he said, he sees channeling as a way to digest his thoughts and process his day. And I was like, well, that's all that is. I can do that. Let's go again. And I thought, but I need a question. And of course, Emily being Emily doesn't go for like a little how do I get caffeine out of my diet? Not judging that it's good or bad caffeine, but I went for a big family issue that I want to resolve, like one of the last kind of big rocks, megaliths I have to resolve in my life kind of thing. And hit record. And suddenly I had all this frequency going through my brain of calming my neural pathways, just blissful, heavenly feelings. And I'm like, oh, well, I thought I was going to be doing some work here on something else, but I'll take this lovely feeling that's coming through and I won't question it. And then there was kind of this moment of is she ready? Yeah, she's kind of relaxed now. She's, in a really lovely, relaxed state. And then it happened. And all of a sudden, I get the number 24. I had 24 being creatures, all different, all around me. And I'm lying in my bed, in the bedroom, and have
this
this.
Wasn't on the megalith then? I thought
this is like number 2. This is session 2.
Time with you.
So once I'd shared it and I realized, it's just, processing your thoughts. That's another way of looking at it. It's another way of framing it that could be easier, because I thought channeling had to be, I'm going to be coming through with scriptures and everything I'm going to say is going to be pure source energy. I will not make a mistake in anything I'm channeling. And that was a lot of pressure. I'd put all this pressure on myself.
So left brain as well, isn't it?
So left brain.
That's why they did the neural pathway to get you out of that.
Completely relax me. And then all of a sudden I'm just seeing creatures and beings.
Wow,
and I was so shocked. I opened my eyes and I'm like, oh, they're still here. Okay, close my eyes again, close my eyes. And there was a beautiful, like, tall eagle that came up. I had my Syrian lion commander energy there. Quite a few different beings. And I think I was probably just completely overwhelmed at that point.
Yeah.
And I think it was very much, well, do you want to dive in and ask a question? So I was like, okay, what is in my highest good to know about my relationship with? And then I was taken on to the craft, which I alluded to last time, which I didn't realize was a craft. I just thought like, oh, it's just 2 chairs that look out into space. And I was just shown myself and this other person just shape-shifting, and they made it very comical. So I'd be laughing a lot and just find it quite funny to keep my frequency high. There was this awareness of like, oh, when she goes down low, we need to keep her up in a high beat, because we want to change what healing looks like for her. And although it will be messy and crying at some points, but it can also be very expansive and eye-opening. And really, you're so much more than this physical form, Emily. And like the time you're on Earth, like 100 years or whatever it's going to be, 120, it's just going to be so quick. And like, it's just a flash. And, this present moment really is what all there is to it. And I'm sure, so many years of mindfulness and yoga and being in the present moment allowed me to really switch off and just allow all of that to come through. Plus the eagerness, like I'd been waiting to be ready. So,
I love that.
Yeah, that was my thing. But now there's very much, every time I'm working with people, they're like, can you connect me to them, please? Can you connect me to them? Can you connect me to them? I want to talk to them. I want to connect. So that's why you channeled through what should we talk about, didn't we? And it was the guides, and I just knew spot on, this is what we needed to talk about.
Yeah, because it's so big in the collective. And life is so much easier when you've got the support of
so
these
much
guides.
Easier. I mean, so much easier.
I always say to my clients, I'm like, I love passing on knowledge to you guys, because I feel so lucky to have someone in my ear telling me what to say in these sessions and things that is for the highest good of that person. I know that is such a privilege, and I want that for everybody, and I really, really do. And so does Emily. Like, you guys can have that connection in whatever way is right for you, and you can develop it more and more. So it might be in the beginning that you see your spirit guides like Emily does, and see them there in meditation circles and all these beautiful retreats and things you go to. You have glimpses and glimmers, but you can have that every day in your life. And this is why we talk about integration and embodiment, embodying your higher self, like bringing that higher wise version of you who may be coming through as a guide right now, but bringing that through and embodying that version of you in your day-to-day life, so that you have got that wisdom always there, and that you're listening to that rather than your overthinking left brain that's carrying you around in circles and causing you overwhelm in your life. So there's, that's our intention, is to help and support people to connect to that beautiful intuition, that inner knowing, that inner guidance of your higher self and your spirit guides. And like Emily said, they're just always coming through wishing to for us to help people connect themselves and not always rely on a a medium or whatever it is, because that has been historically the only way people have been able to connect with their spirit guides up until fairly recently. But everybody I see, I'm like, get your own oracle card deck and, do it yourself. Yeah. What I'm doing, you can do. So absolutely, I really want that message to come across, which I think it has done. Yeah. But I was asking my guides, what are the best things that we can talk to you about today to support you? And they were saying that what both Emily and I had done, hearing your story now as well, Em, is we'd already been working on our mindfulness. And we had this, I wasn't on a spiritual journey, like I've said before, but I was definitely being the conscious observer of my thoughts. And I'd become aware that my thoughts affected how I felt. And I knew that there was this way of creating your reality through your thoughts. I knew that part. That was which is so fundamental. So fundamental. And once you work on that, you're shutting down that, not shutting down, but you're managing that overthinking, limiting beliefs, all of that stuff. And once you've sort of done some work on that, it really does help allow your beautiful intuition and your spirit guides to come through. So I would advise anybody who's wanting to make stronger connections with their spirit guides to really become the conscious observer of their thoughts and realize what is coming up for them in their mind on a mindset level. And there's also that coupled with the Reiki energy healing journey that I was taken on. It was that two-pronged kind of approach. I nearly said attack. It's not an attack. Approach, which is, thank you for that, Em, which is clearing the mind, but also then clearing the physical body of density, because you have to be, or it's easier. You don't have to be, but it's easier to connect with your spirit guides when your frequency, your overall frequency in your body is higher, and you're filled with more light, like Emily mentioned on another one of our podcasts. Like when you're filled with more light, you are able to connect with your spirit guides a lot more easily. And so mindfulness and clearing your channel and working on any density, and with that comes the light work, which is obviously the energy work that we're always speaking to everybody on. That is the way to connect with your spirit guides more.
And I would also add, remember, it's your divine right. Yeah. It's your divine right to have this support. It's the truth of who you are. It really is the truth of who you are. And it's not called a sixth sense for any other reason than it is another sensory ability that we all have access to if we would like to. And it's clear that things are tough for a lot of people, and we need this support, and it's free and it feels good and it makes life so much easier. So why wouldn't we want this for everyone else?
It's something that's there to be tapped into by everybody.
So key. It's so key. And an
intention, I'm just going to say, sorry, quickly, before we move on, I just want to highlight and underline intention. If your intention is that this is what you wish to do, set that strong intention.
They're going to be dancing. They're going to be like, oh, please come on.
But just set it as a really strong intention. Okay, that's for me. I'm going to open that up. But then let go of that intention, because what I find a lot of people do is get really obsessed and they cause resistance and they push it further away. So don't get in your heads about it, literally. Calm your mind, work on your mind and calming your mind. And then all of a sudden, it's just going to come to you. You don't have to seek it out. Setting the intention is enough. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why they relaxed my neural pathways and put so much relaxation through me.
Yeah, because you needed that to shut down that left overthinking brain.
And I don't know if I've shared this one before, but there was another time when they were like, we need to talk to you, we need to talk to you, we need to talk to you, we need to talk to you. And I was like, no, I don't have time, I don't have time. And in the end, I finally gave in and they just put healing frequencies through me for about 20 minutes. And then I kind of came out of it and I was like, oh, okay, so what message do you have? They're like, nope, that was it. I was like, oh, you just wanted to give me some healing. They're like, yes, you needed it, dear one. And I was like, oh.
Thank you. It's amazing. It's incredible, isn't it?
It's very special. Yeah. It's all
beautiful.
We should all be connected to it, I think.
Yeah. And with that said, I'd like to channel an activation to support anybody
That's what I was doing.
Anybody who is wishing to connect with their guides more. I'm sure lots of people who follow us are already connected to their guides and receiving guidance to a certain degree. And there's layers and depths and progress that all of us are making, myself and Emily included. Yeah. So let's do a little activation. I'm just going to open up and let whoever wishes to come through with an activation for everybody, to meet everybody exactly where they're at, but open up whichever senses you as an individual would like to work on. They will work with your preferences, what feels most comfortable for you. And I will let the frequencies and the energies flow the way they need to flow. So if you start by just imagining that from the top of your head all the way down to the base of your spine, that you are connecting to your energy column down. And just take some nice cleansing breaths in and out. And sending that energetic column down, deep, deep down into the core of the earth. So just open yourself up to receive these beautiful codes and frequencies. You can keep your eyes closed or have them open, whichever is preferable to you. Soro to yanodana to yonataru to shendara kianaro toro to zontoro to yatara sontoro to roton. We're talking to you on a soul level and activating your gifts. This is the level of remembering what already exists within you. Sotoro tianora taka ara tianaro uyanara titiata. Hochotoro toya tata yatakiataro tiataro. Ianadera tiadara undukodoro doria. Ianari tiadetkiano. Orototo shotoro totori tika. Siandara toro tatari tianatia. Ianu doro tiania daro tia. Otoriata. Iandara totoro tiada daro totoro. Ianora tianori chuchi ganatara. Ietata or chiti dando gore dedi. Iete sotoriata yandea. Soto riticana tia. Ori chiticana sieta toto yanda chita natara. Tuku hushoto. Rachuko unata. Shitikiaro tota santariata oro toja nariata. Shatakia arochko no toto ruchi. Chicanare yendatka ruto riccica andare atoria njotoro toro Shatakana toro to shantara tata shandara tata rucho konda yata so orichundo siandara gianondoria dayan dadia orioto sandaria dedi canarita. Enjoy your gifts, beautiful ones. Thank you for opening to receive these codes. They will always support you. Now remember to ask for your guides' assistance and support, and listen, look, feel, open up your senses to beyond what they are already. You will feel them, all of your guides, on another level. And you need to open with your intention to perceive them on another level. And once you do, dear ones, you will feel, sense, see whichever clair that is right for you. Just be open to receiving. Do not strive to see it. Open. And you will receive. We love you, and so it is.
It's so beautiful.
And I think I whacked this mic several times. Sorry, I hope it wasn't too loud.
And I hope, how did that make you feel? Drop in the comments how it made you feel and what little bits. And did you feel different things at different times? Because it was like a little intense in a good way. And then it was like, oh, we need some playful frequency to come through here. Like, don't take it too seriously. And then it just ended quite lovingly and beautifully.
That's exactly it. Because it was starting.
Thank you. That was so nice. Oh, Thank you. I was doing a few little codes just to support people through that.
Thank you. It was doing a lot of grounding because whatever we're doing, we need to bring it really through deeply into the body. And so you had codes that were
embodying that.
Really helping to embody the wisdom of your guides, embody it, like feel it and open yourselves up to it. In this human level is kind of what they were saying. It's like your human vessel needs to be open to receiving this. So that was helping you initially with opening yourself up on that human level, on that physical level. To experience them here in this 3D reality. So that's what they were saying. And then they were connecting and opening up your third eye. That's where it started to get a little bit lighter. And then the crown, opening up your crown and just really doing like an attunement in your crown to be open to receive, like opening up your little antennae to receive, and then bringing through and dropping into the heart at the end, and giving you lots of love and support and reassurance around all of it. So hopefully people will have felt some of that.
Yeah. And just remember that kind of more you connect with your guides, the more grounding you're going to need. So any more ascension you do, the more kind of real kind of getting your feet on the ground grounding. And like really letting go of anything that's not serving you. So just remember that beautiful duality. We are in a world of polarity and embrace it.
Definitely, because I think there's a lot of people, of course, naturally, just once you get a glimpse, certainly people who see and hear, they're like, oh my gosh. And you do become like, you're opening up and you want to hear more, and it's exciting. And so there's a lot of starseeds and light workers that spend a lot of time, like so many people do, beautiful astral projections and having wonderful experiences with and connections with their guides. But my guides are always saying, you must keep grounding yourself in. You're in this physical vessel. You have to.
You're always
it's like putting a safety belt on, I want to say, in a car. Like you have to keep grounding yourself.
Kind of tethering yourself
anchoring yourself into the earth frequencies. So important.
Partially because I think the contrast has been so huge that once we get to those blissful places, we're like, I never want to come back. But we've chosen to be in this body, in this lifetime, on this planet, on Earth. Yeah. And that's, if we're having that kind of duality a bit at the moment. Yeah.
And it also helps us feel really safe on Earth as well. Because once we start feeling these blissful, loving frequencies, it's like, oh, we want to be there. And it's like, no, it's okay. You can have that here. You can bring, and our purpose is to bring that through here. And we do that by bringing it into our physical bodies. That's how we do it. We bring those light and those beautiful high vibrational frequencies into our bodies. And the more we learn to hold that light, people say about like shining your light and going out there and shining your light. That's embodiment, that's bringing those beautiful frequencies into our physical body, not just in those moments of connection, but holding them and then walking out that door and being that frequency to everybody you meet in that day, everywhere you go, you're holding that frequency for the collective.
Yeah, and that grounding energy will just help fuel you and just keep you balanced.
Lovely.
So people can have many different numbers of guides. People have different numbers of guides, don't they?
Yeah.
And some people will only have a few, and some people have a lot, and some people the number of guides can change as well.
I think that depends on what you're experiencing in your life.
And what you're going through. Yeah. It is that when you're needing support, you'll have a lot of guides there. And then kind of when you've kind of got a few things sorted, you have a lot less.
Yes, I think they come and go. That's certainly when I've been doing readings with people. That's what they say is they come along to support people with particular lessons and whatever they're experiencing.
Yes.
And then sometimes once you've learned that lesson or you've been through that experience, they will stand back or leave and new ones can come through. And you can actually set that intention as well. You can say, okay, I am about to embark on X in my life. Please send me through some spirit guides who are experts in that area. Maybe they've had human experiences and they have specialism in that area.
That will be music to their ears. They'll be so excited to be called on.
Yeah. And that's what happens. Yeah. That's why whenever we connect to my guides, they laugh and they say, we're sending you through whoever is needed, depending on what you're talking about, whatever your intention is. Like,
absolutely.
It's always changing. It's not just one guide for us. We have vast teams who are helping support, because we are changing rapidly in our intentions and what we're doing. And so our guides change as well. And so will yours. Everybody's all changing all the time. And that's okay.
Yeah, it reminded me of two little stories.
Great.
So
let's hear them.
I remember driving to yoga, and one of my yogis said, you do know that you've got a man in the car with you when you drive? And I was like, no, I come on my own. What are you talking about? She's like, yeah, one of your guides is in the car with you. He's male. And I'm like, oh, does he cool. come into the practice? She's like, well, she was like, good question. She's like, I think sometimes he's kind of there, but she doesn't really pick up on him. She's just like, I really just notice him when you're driving to yoga and leaving. And then I remember another lady sharing, because I was learning a new treatment, Risilo, back in the day, and it was this physio. And she said, don't worry, you can't make a mistake. You've got a woman guiding you in everything you do. And now looking back on it, I'm sure it's an Arcturian.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure of it. Just helping heal. Yeah, without doubt. I don't know who the man is, the yogi, but I haven't sat there and explored. He's probably like Yogananda, someone. But
it's fascinating, isn't it? And I think, we all have such busy lives, don't we? Let's just talk about that for a second, because when Emily and I were talking on this subject, because our guide said, you're going to be talking on this subject, we were like, okay,
people are going to love
what do we have to say on it? What should we say then? And who are our guides is what we asked ourselves. And it's like, we don't sit and spend that long with them asking about maybe their lives. And I meet so many of them. And I just, it can be really overwhelming. But it is lovely and beautiful when you do have those strong bonds of connection with your spirit guides. I know so many people I've met along the way that have dear connections, very strong bonds with certain guides. And certainly when they've been past loved ones, that's just incredible. And they really feel so comforted by that person being there. And I can totally understand that. And they become their sort of permanent guardians. They choose to just have an aspect of them, is how I've been led to understand it.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of describing
an aspect of them. My guides kind of tell me that it's not holding them back living their life. If anyone thinks, a parent or a loved one is choosing to be with them and watch over them, that doesn't mean that they're not having another experience in another life as well. It's just an aspect of them that is remaining to look over you, which is just so special, isn't it? But yeah, so of course you can develop those connections as long as, as much time as you have to dedicate to that connection. And that's definitely something I want to do more, is with particular guides I've met along the way, is to just choose a couple to really kind of strengthen that connection. Yeah, I
love that. I think that's important. I think sometimes for me, it's all still so new. That, again, that verbalization with a spiritual partner or a spiritual body is so important, just to really embody what's happening. Because, I think for me, I'm still just so delighted that I can connect with them, that actually connecting with just one or two, just one at a time is... it's like a treat, isn't it?
We both need to go, actually, because we have such...
We're getting the messages.
We are totally getting messages.
Thank you.
And you are too, because I think, there must be other people out there who are like us, who are receiving these messages, and we're just like, I know that it happens a lot in our healing sessions, Em, and I think in that setting, and I'm sure it does for you guys as well, in that setting, I don't feel like that's the most important thing to find out who it is. Like, so when it's a past loved one,
because it's not like what we do, is it? That's not like a modality that we've decided to go into.
Well, I do readings for people, and then I'll find out. So I'm drawing on a lot of that knowledge when we're talking on this subject. That's how I know certain things about spirit and what, like, them choosing to stay. So that's not necessarily from healing sessions, although a little bit. That's more from readings. I've learned a lot about spirit guides through doing readings for other people, because then we're bringing through a guide to come through, and then we'll find out who that guide is for that person. So we're getting to know that person more. Whereas when we're in a healing session, I'm like, okay, they just come and they help us with the healing. And it could be the Arcturians, could be the Pleiadians, it could be, it's often the Arcturians, because I know they are master healers and they have this new wave of healing coming through that they want to.
I love them so much.
Through.
I really
They are fabulous. They are fabulous.
They're so supportive, just so wonderful.
But we don't necessarily ask their names, and do you know what I mean? Or create that sort of connection.
I got a guide's name from one lady.
You?
Yeah.
What did you get?
Oishan.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oishan. Yeah.
That's lovely.
Or Sohan. No, it was Sohan. Sohan. He came through. But he's like a Bigfoot. And he's always there on her right side.
For a client.
Yeah.
I love that.
He's so nice.
Oh my gosh.
And then her grandmother and her mom have been coming through as well. Some female support.
I love that.
But I feel like they are their ancestors rather than guides. You know, there's this desertion, isn't it? But all there to guide, just to bring support. I mean, I guess it just depends how we define it. But
this is why
we've got so much support. We've got so many. We've got so much care and support that it's been quite a clever manipulation to allow us to believe that they do not exist, because they do. And they've got so much love for us, and they want to help us and support us. And we're just really blessed, aren't we?
We all are so blessed. And we would love to hear, how about people comment in the comments below the names of their guides. If you've found out the name of your spirit guide or more than one, please share in the comments, because we would love to have a little read through at some point. And that's definitely my intention, is to get some more names of spirit guides and just pay a little bit more attention to who is coming through. And we'll be bringing that through for the collective on here as well. And we will be channeling our guides for the collective. So they will be our guides, but they will be for you. Does that make sense? So they won't be here sort of supporting us so much. We have guides for that. We're going to be bringing through guides to support the podcast, and so that is for you guys, for you listening. So look out for those sessions. Guides for guidance, exactly. Guides for supporting us through this ascension at this time, this movement that's happening into the new dimension. Woo! Exciting.
And just remember, they could come in the form of an animal.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, so important to say.
It doesn't have to be this physical form, like the physical form with the way that we look, you know.
No.
So many people have spirit animals, don't they, that support them and guide them.
Oh my gosh, it's such a little high vibrational thing.
And it's ridiculous how my mother comes through my cat.
Yes.
She was like, well, that's where all your focus was paid to. It was the cats when I was alive. Like, why wouldn't I use a cat to come through when I'm on the other side? Like, that makes so much sense, Mom. We can talk about animal guides maybe another time.
I think so. I think that's a lovely topic. And I'm sure everybody has a lot of experience with that themselves. I think,
without a doubt, because they're always seeing different energies, aren't they, animals?
They're just beautiful. And I do think our guides can come through, you know, in our lives by buying a pet or, you know, coming across nature. Like that, this is a whole nother topic, isn't it? Let's talk about that another time. Because our guides, well, it's all to do with our spirit guides, but I think our spirit guides come through animals as well. And birds, especially birds.
That's what I was thinking.
Birds is my understanding. I feel like they come through and then they leave.
And birds are master teachers on this planet, without a doubt.
Birds.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, well, thank you again for joining us. And we look forward to the next one. We love doing this. Please support us by giving a like if you enjoyed it. Share it with a friend and connect with us on Instagram, The Conscious Collective 444, or through our website. We are so excited to meet you. And we know on some level we already have. Definitely. Lots of love, dear ones. Lots of love. Joyful blessings. Thanks for joining us today. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you want to work with us directly, see the show notes below. Thank you.